How's it going, guys? It's the Peruvian Trucker back with another video, and I'm coming at you from Paterson, New Jersey. Let that sink in. I gotta be honest, guys, I really haven't been recording much of the day-to-day stuff lately. I've been focused on other things, personal stuff, and editing my home time video that I really want to share. My $10,000 vacation, as I will call it. But I am taking the time right now because I think that this experience is worth sharing. Like I mentioned, I'm in Paterson, New Jersey, and I've only been to Paterson or in Paterson twice in my life. The first time was in TNT training, and I want to say it was a traumatizing experience, to say the least, especially with how little experience I had back then. It was probably a traumatizing experience for my trainer as well, because I was the one driving. But thankfully we made it unscathed then. And the second time is now. I willingly came back to Paterson, New Jersey. I'm not going to say that I got a great paying load on the way in, just good enough to rationalize the decision of coming here. But honestly, I wanted to get myself through this location by myself. For those who don't know, I guess, Paterson, New Jersey is a horrible, horrible, horrible place to deliver if you're driving a semi. There's cars stacked on top of each other, cars stacked on both sides of the street. Very little to no consideration for truck drivers. And I am with my tandem slid all the way to the 12th hole. So that adds insult to injury. I'm not as maneuverable as I could be. And the streets are narrow and filled with cars as it is, I guess. But I wanted to get myself through it. This is probably not the smartest thing to do, to just take this type of load, because I wanted to get myself through it. But I did. And here I am. I never claimed to be smart anyway, I guess. But we will get to the dash cam footage and the drone footage. I only got the drone out when I was ready to back, and that wasn't really that bad. The place that I delivered at, I'm parked outside right now. The place that I delivered at had plenty of room to maneuver and back. It was getting to the place that was the issue. Like I mentioned, it is a heavily populated area. Cars stacked on both sides of the street. The streets are very narrow as it is, and then you have the cars on top of that, and you got to take tight turns. So we're gonna move to the narrating portion in a second. I just wanted to provide some context, and I think everyone should go through a situation like this while they're gaining their experience. This isn't the worst of trucking, or the worst area to be trucking at. I'm sure there is worse out there, but this is pretty close. This will get your feet wet, if that makes sense. But if you think that I'm wrong and that this is nothing, feel free to comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Okay guys, so right off the bat you can see that these main streets are not as narrow, but still, with the cars parked on both sides, you gotta get into the oncoming traffic lane to clear them, going a little wide. Of course, because this is one of the main streets, you can see that it's properly marked, but even then there's cars parked on the sidewalk. Other than that, for the most part, fairly simple. As long as you stay between the lines, you should be in the clear. Just check your mirrors, make sure you don't get too close to the cars on either side. As you can see, once we turned out of the main street, things are not marked as properly. You can see there's a street sweeper. I know that some cities have a schedule of where in the street you should park so the street sweeper can drive by. But in this case, you can see the street sweeper is like dodging cars. So I got to this intersection and I had to make a left turn because that's where the entrance to my receiver was. But between that white BMW 7 Series on my passenger side and that white Volkswagen SUV on my driver's side by the intersection, I didn't have enough room to cut it all the way to the passenger side and take a turn wide enough to comfortably clear that white Volkswagen on the driver's side.
There's no way I'm gonna make it in there.
This is where trip planning really plays an important role. Thankfully, I had checked the map before I got there, and I knew that I could just drive around the block to make it to the entrance. So you can see, I am taking very, very wide turns, and thankfully on these streets, which would have been a toss, there was plenty of room on my driver's side to go as wide as possible and clear the corners. Except for this intersection. As you can see, there was a Honda and a Jeep parked on the passenger side, really close to the edge of the intersection and the corner, which made it a challenge to take that turn. Also, on my driver's side, you can see that red Toyota SUV that blew past their stop sign and slammed on their brakes at the last second. This is one of those situations where you have to be the captain of your ship. Just maintain your composure, complete the maneuver safely, slowly, and move on.
There we go.
So from this angle, it looks like there would have been enough room to take that turn into the receiver from the street that I was on. But because of that BMW from before, there really wasn't enough room to go wide enough and 100% clear that white SUV. And that's that. Honestly, I don't think Paterson was that bad this time around, but it may also be the fact that I've been driving for 2 years and I am a lot more comfortable operating the truck through tight spots. But feel free to comment below, what are your thoughts? When it comes to the parking or backing at this receiver, like I mentioned, it was pretty easy, a lot of room, but feel free to comment below your thoughts on that as well. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.